As homeowners or renters, there's a certain identification we form with our respective communities. And all across America, the unique qualities of these communities is as vast as the territory itself. Case in point, the hamlet of Asbury Park, New Jersey. Established in 1871 from its humble beginnings as a coastal retreat to its current resurgence in the modern era, the character of the community has been a constant.
One thing I would say is that there are many reasons why Asbury's revitalization has come back, and I would absolutely credit the gay community and the small business community. But the other community I would also credit is the community that never left here, right? So the African American community, the church community, they stayed here throughout the 70s, 80s, and 90s and really kept this town moving. The gay community kind of came in, bought some of these older houses, rehabbed these houses, and then got on our zoning board and our planning board and our library board and really started being active in the community. So when we talk about Asbury's revitalization and the small business community, without those factions and then without those people actually getting involved, what you're seeing now wouldn't be happening. So those were people who invested in Asbury Park, again, when nobody else was. And so while I agree Asbury has absolutely changed in the last 15 to 18 years that I've been here, there are still pockets, right? There's still galleries all over Cookman. Art is still super important, and you see that, with the Wooden Walls project, you see that with the city sponsoring murals throughout the town. And you see that with the music community, right? So we have a music foundation, we have Springwood Ave Park that we do free concerts every Monday for the last 3 or 4 years to provide music for, everybody in the city, but particularly in the Southwest Quadrant. So talking about why you came to Asbury in 2000, and a lot of those reasons were arts, it's the same reasons in 2018, right? It's about arts and diversity.
During the late 20th century, the town did fall into somewhat of a state of neglect. So as things started improving and people decided to move back into the area, there were a host of factors that shaped the approach of how to revitalize the area. With so much history in Asbury Park, resisting the urge to knock down existing homes was definitely something to consider. Fortunately, the approach has been to retain the charm of the historic setting, with folks either preserving existing structures or enhancing them in a tasteful way. Plus, for the longtime residents, there was a conscious effort by the community stakeholders to keep things as attainable as possible for them and new homeowners, in particular in the interior sections of the town.
When I came here in the early 2000s, those houses were, many of them dilapidated, right? And either empty or, certainly on their last legs and not safe. So at that time, Asbury had extraordinarily high crime rates, which is one of the reasons you could buy these Victorian houses for, pennies and magic beans, right? Because nobody was moving here. So what we saw a number of people doing was buy these old Victorians and not knock them down and then build, 5 condos, but knock them down, rehab them, and bring them back to their historic character, which is really important in Asbury Park, just architecture in general. We have Convention Hall, which was designed by the guys who did Grand Central Station, and then all these other amazing buildings in Asbury, which, range from modern architecture to Spanish-style architecture. So Asbury has a little bit of everything in terms of architecture, and I would say overall really tries to stay with the historic character. One of the things that we've spent a lot of time, and I have to give a lot of credit to the Chamber of Commerce, that also was really making Asbury Park a destination community. So what you were seeing in 2006 or 2007 were businesses opening in June or July, making it through the summer, and then really, really struggling to make it through the winter. And you saw a lot of businesses open and close. So one of the taglines that we're constantly trying to do with Asbury Park is talk about how it's an all-year destination. And because we have so many unique businesses, that's helped us have it be a all-year-round destination. So Asbury really values niche businesses, right? And again, to talk about the revitalization, these niche businesses, if we didn't have them, we wouldn't be revitalized.
Silver Bowl Museum is one of the first large amusement establishments to establish on this boardwalk in the modern times. The boardwalk has always been geared towards a upscale clientele who want to visit the restaurants and the little boutiques that have been here. But amusements is a relatively new type of entertainment to appear on this boardwalk in the modern times. People come to the boardwalk just to visit the Silver Bowl, and then they visit the other businesses as well. We're definitely an asset to the Asbury Park boardwalk as a whole.
Asbury Park is consistently ranked as a top 10 beach destination, so even if you're not looking to make a move, you may want to pay them a visit to see how this fun and diverse community is thriving.